Anna, you can't have wine right now.
Live?
We're almost live. This hangout
We're live.
Is live, so let's.
I see it up there. Yeah, exactly. Better watch out too, because.
And I do have it on my Kindle. I'm still reading. Still reading.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, still reading.
Let's see if Jimmy knows how to run his frickin' computer. Oh, you know what? I got a new Bose speakers from somebody.
Really?
They got this little button.
Christmas?
Yeah, where if you just barely touch them, you screw it up. So here we go.
I wonder how you got those.
Thank you, Amy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
It's almost. Wait, we're gonna wrestle?
Yeah, baby.
This is what I thought I was tuning in for.
Nothing more than there's nothing more than wrestling or getting into the thick of things. Nothing more exciting to a ranger.
Get focused. The show's about to start.
We got a new one here.
In 5, 4, 3. And now, live from somewhere in North America, it's a very special Sunday night edition of Backlash. On tonight's show, special guest, Kris Paranto. Kris is not only an American hero, but a true patriot. And he's here to talk about his new book, 13 Hours in Benghazi, and what really happened. And now, to get the show started, our host with the most, JK.
That's me. Oh, shit.
You know, where's the fanfare? We need a live studio audience.
Yeah, we do.
Really.
Well, you could have taken care of that, Brett.
Yeah,
you thought about that. We actually do have an audience.
Yeah, I know.
We actually do. Hey, so welcome, Amy and Anna and Brett.
Hi.
Hi, guys. Hello.
And you've all met Kris. There's Kris. Welcome.
We have. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, we appreciate Kris being on tonight. And I am all ready to go myself because I know that from what I saw, I'm wearing the Patriots because I want to celebrate Kris and knowing what we're going to be talking about tonight. He's a Patriot, and we're going to have a great conversation.
About what kind of Patriot?
Well, it's the Patriots.
Oh, Jim,
isn't
buddy.
it? That's what I heard.
Oh, I didn't know. What's going on?
What?
It has nothing to do with me being from Massachusetts. Nothing at all.
Well, I thought we were talking about patriotic stuff, not the Patriots. I hate the Patriots.
No, I thought it was the Patriots.
Jim, wrong
Different kind of Patriot.
Well, I'm gonna have to step out of this one, guys. I'm not talking.
Nobody wants to talk about the Patriots.
Oh my God, Anna, what happened? Anna, did he leave?
Did he really leave?
Text him, did he leave? Anna, he's gone. He's pissed. He's mad.
Whoa.
Anna, text him and tell him we're just joking.
I can't even, see where I'm at here. Hang on.
Are you freaking kidding me?
No.
Oh my God, never mind. Kris, come back.
Oh, my heavens.
I think if he was really mad, he would have shut down the computer. Hey, we got a kitty cat.
My cat talked me into coming back. He's like,
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, hey, maybe the cat can meet Amy's drugged up dogs later.
Come on, let me. Well, you can meet one of my drugged up dogs now. This is little Sadie.
Hey, look at. Scratch his eyes out.
I was gonna say, forget Benghazi. It's pet time.
Wow.
Okay, we're done.
So, Anna, can you hear us, Anna?
I can hear you, but I can't see anything. I'm still searching.
Oh, well, there's the joke's on you then.
Anna,
we can make faces at you, Anna.
Where'd you guys
We're all
go?
looking sharp tonight.
Anna.
Yes,
earlier today,
there
we
you are.
devised a scheme to let you and Amy have a freaking heart attack, and you can't even see us.
No, I can see you now.
Now?
Now,
It was
Yeah,
a
let me
joke
have a
about
heart
the
attack.
Patriots. I wore this on purpose, and he was going to get mad and leave and go, "I'm out of here. I'm not. What is this bullshit?"
Oh, no, I don't.
I kind of knew that he would have shut off his computer, though.
Maybe.
All right, whatever. Whatever.
You didn't
Now that
fall
it-
for it. You're too
Ranger would
smart.
a pissed Ranger would shut off his computer. I know that firsthand.
I'd have thrown it across the room.
That's funny.
get Best Buy tomorrow.
Yeah, no kidding. So, in the attack, Kris would know better. He knew who and why, because there was an email that went from the State Department, if this is correct, to the White House that told them, hey, here's the guys who did it. It had nothing to do with the video. We know who's out there attacking us. And so they knew about that. Now that's, Kris, was that 2 hours into the attack?
You know, there
Or was
there was an actual report of being a terrorist attack over the radio at 10 o'clock at 2200. So that was
Okay.
30 minutes after it started. As far as the email and knowing, it's open source. Yeah, it's approximately 2 hours or so. You can, I mean, I could probably get online and Google it, but them knowing that it was a terrorist attack and then to the email, the traffic, yeah, 2 hours or so, I would say.
Okay.
But they knew 30 minutes in what it was.
30 minutes in that there was. Okay, now, going back to when he ran for office right there, and these are his government people, everybody wanted so badly to believe that because, hey, this is transparency. This is what our government should be about. Now, 2 hours into this, the text comes through, and here is let me get this right, 2 full weeks later, he's still telling this in
To
front
the
of the
UN,
world,
yeah.
to the UN. Listen to what he says.
We all know.
Right.
Yeah.
In every culture.
Well, I don't even want to play it because I'll throw up.
Yeah.
But anyways, he sat there and told everybody 2 full weeks later, after everybody knew that it was a lie. Oh, go ahead. You gotta take care of something?
No, he's good. We're good. Just my son.
Okay, right on. So, but basically, that's what turns so many people's stomach, and that's why Kris and these guys had to write the book. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, because you cannot believe what the government is telling you. They proved it time and again.
Yeah. That's this, and it wasn't him. It was from Mike Morrell. It was mainly within our own organization that ticked us off. The organization being being the Central Intelligence Agency, and you can even read. And I don't know why this hasn't been picked up, but in Mike Rogers' House Intel subcommittee report, the only thing that was accurate in it was that Mike Morrell changed the talking points. Everything else in that report was bogus, but that's the one thing he got right. So the talking points being changed, and then would we have Ben Rhodes and his email saying to change the talking points to protect the president and his running for re-election. Throughout it's been shown that everything has been either covered up or modified to protect certain people within the government. But it's a smoking gun, and people don't want to believe that. And you're right. And after a year, after us continually deploying as well, I kept working. We finally got fed up, and that was mainly towards our own organization, though, towards the agency. When we got fed up with them, and then it just, it's like a domino effect. Once we came out, the chips all started falling. Everybody that had something to lose, that was covering up, it just seemed to well, as you're seeing it now, it just more things keep popping up. Well, this guy was not telling the truth, or this person is exaggerating, and hey, if you keep lying, it's gonna come back and eventually get all you. So I'm hoping it does. I'm seeing it happen. It's just I wish it happened faster. But
have you been interviewed yet by Trey Gowdy's?
No, it won't be till next year. That's going to go on for another year. It's not going to end. If people want it to end quick, it's not. They have a lot of things they need to go through. He has contacted our lawyer and spoken with our lawyer, Mark Zaid. So we will, and it will be public. It'll be televised. We've already asked to do that, so we don't run into the problem like we did with Mike Rogers' report, which was complete bogus, lack of a better word.
Were you shocked to find out that your testimony was it was not even in the report, was it?
No, they didn't use most of our testimony. No, they used Morrell's and whoever, Clappers and the chief of base, chief of stations, the staffer, TL, and then also some expert witness in crisis situations, which who knows who that was. Was I shocked? I had seen the interim report that they wrote, and it was the exact same as the interim. So, no, we expected it. And then we had the scuttlebutt from people we've made friends with on that committee that were telling us that Mike Rogers was trying to wash it away and sweep it under the rug. So it wasn't a big shock. It just was it had the effect it was going to on me. It just made me angry. But we had expected of it because we'd been preempted that he was going to do that. He was going to go ahead and try to cover up the try to write it in such a way that it covered a lot of the tracks that that our book actually had brought to life. So and we also knew that he hadn't got a lot of support from the Republicans on the committee as well. It was mainly from the Democrats on that committee. It was the same thing that we've been going through for the last 2 years. These people just trying to still protect themselves and protect their agenda. And he had a conflict of interest with his wife, and they're getting contracts from the State Department. So it's just I have a hard time talking about it because just without me cussing and getting all angry, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Things we're going through.
I was going to ask you, Kris, how one of the most beautiful things that I saw was when you and Mark, when you were told that the two congressmen
Smith
said you were lying.
Yeah, one was Smith, one was Schiff.
And you said, tell them to come on face to face. I want let's do this face to face. And then when one of them actually did have the guts and said, well, I didn't say it, but
that was funny.
That was great. That was great. I mean, that was just so beautiful.
The government, and that's what I look at them. They're like bullies. They're just big bullies. They're cowards, and all you got to do is push a bully back. And the other guy didn't happen to show up. Schiff. Now we'll be dealing with him. He's on Trey Gowdy's committee, and we'll be dealing with him. He was on the House Intel subcommittees. He was on Mike Rogers' committee as well, but he didn't bother to show up during our testimony. So for some reason, I guess we weren't worth his time. So
either that or he was deathly afraid of you.
Well,
I'm guessing the latter.
If he's not, he should be now, because we all have it in for him now.
Well, I was going to say, how infuriated? I mean, how infuriated were you when you heard that? I mean, I know you kept your calm, you kept your composure, but deep down, you must have wanted to throat punch somebody.
Well, you saw me trying to come through the TV. We wanted him. The first time we got that we were called liars, we asked Hannity, Mr. Hannity, Sean Hannity, that we will debate them, but we want him to be in the same studio. We'll come back to the studio and do it. And neither of them would do that. They wouldn't come in the studio.
Cowards.
So we relented and said, okay, well, we'll do it in different studios, but it needs to be live. And Schiff, I don't know what happened to Adam Schiff. He's a coward. I at least have some respect for Adam Smith. At least he came on, and he came. Now that's about all the respect I have for him right now.
Well, because he had said something about, I didn't say that. Schiff said it. Yeah. So
and maybe he did.
Wasn't me.
Knows? I don't know. Yeah.
Like you said, at least he had the backbone to come and face you, but he shifted the blame somewhere else when.
But and I've approached Eric Wimple. He was been a very big. He's been speaking very low again, or very. He's always been a proponent against us. He was for the Washington Post. I've sent him an email saying, "Hey, I'm here. Come talk to me." I've sent MSNBC and had my contacts reach out to embassy saying I'll come on even Rachel Maddow's show and I'll go on her show, and we'll talk about it. I've offered to all them people to say I'll come into your den and we'll talk about all you want. And
they don't want the truth.
I just hear crickets. Yeah, constantly.
They don't want the truth.
I got a question here regarding this Adam Smith thing. Has anybody from, okay, there was, what was it, 7 guys who left Tripoli and finally showed up like at 5 o'clock in the morning or something,
No,
right?
they got in about 3:30 in the morning.
Okay. Did any of those people say, hey, we were told to stand down?
No, because that was our team. That was our GRS team. Yeah.
Okay.
And they wouldn't have been told to.
Right.
Our GRS team leader wouldn't have been told that. Yeah.
Okay. So
now, when you,
Adam Smith was on Sean Hannity with you guys, and his defense was, hey, I'm not saying you guys are lying, but the reports are that we told Tripoli to stand down, and I said that never happened. Well, he's lying right there because nobody did.
No, there was 2 teams. Tripoli, when he says the Tripoli team, he's talking about the State Department. State Department did have a special forces team at the consulate in Tripoli. They had nothing to do with our GRS team. It was 2 separate elements.
But did somebody ever from them accuse anybody of, were they ever told to stand down?
They said they were. If you see John Hicks's testimony, they said, and they're actually extremely upset about it as well.
That's who Smith was talking about.
Yes, that's who he was talking about, not the GRS guys. Yeah.
Just something I wanted to clear up. In your team, in proximity to the event, how far away were you physically?
A mile drive, three-quarters of a mile.
So you could have been there in 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, and easy. And what people still fail to realize, and I've been trying to say this more and more, is the delay from just the beginning of us leaving caused us to be delayed longer because we had to go on foot due to them reinforcing and blocking all of our avenues of approach into the compound. We couldn't drive all the way there, which made us have to go on foot, which cost us another, and I'm being generous, another 20 minutes to go on foot. So it wasn't a 30-minute delay. We're talking close to an hour delay to actually finally get on the compound and fight our way onto the compound.
1 mile away.
1 mile away. And that's again, I think we may even be a little bit shorter than that. We'd have to Google map it, but it wasn't.
I think you said in one of your testimonies 3/4 of a mile.
Yeah, so it's between 3/4 of a mile. I think we can, give or take. Yeah.
Figure it out pretty easily.
Wow.
So one question I wanted to ask you is why would anybody tell you guys to stand down? Why would those words have ever been said by anyone? What would have been the motivation for that?
Well, there's first of all, it's not having the experience tactically. A lot of you people you get in charge, and when I say a lot, in the upper management, I mean, look at Mike Morrell. You've seen what he looks like, right? You think he's ever been on combat? Yeah, you think he's ever been on combat before? You think he's ever been involved in anything outside from breaking a pencil when he's sitting at his computer?
REMFs.
And exactly. And what I'm saying is they don't realize that during those kind of situations, you don't have 30 minutes to figure it out. I mean, if Black Hawk Down, I'll give them that. And that's a different animal. You're trying to rescue a freaking company, okay? With us, we're trying to rescue 5 guys, and we're 3/4 of a mile away, and there is no other help coming. So you blame it on incompetence first, and that's best case scenario, just straight up tactical incompetence. And I said that to Mike Rogers during my testimony when they were doing the what if and the speculation game. I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe he did have a legitimate reason, but he was wrong tactically, and he should have made that. He should have left it to the experts, which were us. The worst case scenario it was they wanted the ambassador to get kidnapped, which, if you look at the tactical things that the bad guys did, honestly, if they wanted to have killed us all, they could have killed us. They had gun trucks, they had technicals, they had dishkas, they had enough firepower in that city, they could have come and just blasted the crap out of us. And I don't care how good we are good. We would have taken a lot of them with us, but we would have died. They just had too many people.
Overwhelming force.
Yeah, they didn't try to do that. They tried to come in and surgically take over. Surgically, not Delta Force surgically, not DevGru with SEAL Team 6, but they came in and tried to take over that compound. And they wanted, to me, from looking at it from a tactical standpoint, it looked like they wanted to kidnap the ambassador. When they figured out that they weren't going to be able to do that, and that's where they lit the buildings on fire, And then the two attacks on our compound, again, they could have come in and just destroyed our compound. They wanted a prisoner. And then finally when they found out, hey, you know what, these guys, we're not going to be able to get any of these guys. We're just going to keep losing people. That's when they hit us with the mortars. So my opinion is that maybe there's something more to what was going on in Benghazi that the government is leading up to. And all those conspiracy theories are out there. Some of them, I would call them conspiracy theories. I can't say for sure for not that yeah. Do you want to think our U.S. government left us to die? No, I don't want to think that. Can I say that they didn't? No, I can't say that either. So
as Jim knows, I'm the conspiracy wing of this little show, and this was one of those events that from the second that it happened, I mean, I immediately had questions and was calling BS on so much of it. I didn't buy that video, and the way they were selling the story, it just there was something real fishy about it from the first second. And
we immediately thought that they were getting using that compound and putting something together with Stevens and them to run guns over into Syria. That's kind of what we were thinking.
Yeah, because isn't the actual embassy in Tripoli? It's not even in Benghazi.
It was a consulate. Then they changed it to a special mission, and then now it's called the temporary mission facility. They've lowered those because that lowers the security standards, so it puts less responsibility on how much security they had to have there, and people aren't seeing that either.
I've always called the whole event a hit. I mean, that's kind of what I looked at it as. It's almost like he was taken out because he was, that's my conspiracy work in here. That's all that is.
What they did, and this is another tactical mode that the bad guys use, and we've even used it before in Afghanistan, was when he did lock himself in that back room. That was their thinking. Well, we need to smoke this guy out. It wasn't we're going to kill this guy from smoke inhalation. It's hey, let's start fires, and they're going to have to come out eventually. And it didn't work. The Afghanis did that to the Taliban by using water and trying to flush guys out. The very first battles in Afghanistan, we were there. We tried to flush guys out of basements using water. To put water down there, it's like rats out of get them out.
Right.
I think that's exactly what they were trying to do, and it just didn't realize that that smoke is gonna get to him, and he died of smoke inhalation.
Wow.
So
especially diesel smoke.
Yeah.
Pretty nasty stuff.
Yeah, and all that stuff, the asbestos and the paint, and it's noxious. It was noxious when we got in there trying to get in there. Yeah.
Wow. Kris, I have a two-part question, if you don't mind.
Sure.
And feel free not to answer or to evade, as Rangers do. But these questions.
Evade? You're talking about seals. What are you talking about? Seals evade. I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm kidding. Whoever seals up there, I'm just having fun.
I know.
I'm just having fun.
No, but I was asked by someone to ask you these two questions pointedly.
Okay.
First, do you feel you and the others were betrayed by the United States government, and do you know how many people were relieved of duty for wanting to help you guys? Secondly.
Sure. Okay. You want me to answer that first, or do you want to get both questions?
Sure.
Yeah, myself, I do feel like we were. No help came from the U.S. government to even pick us up the following morning when everything was calm. I do. And the way they've been treated after, I believe so. The way the reports have continued to come out, and then Congress people still calling us liars when, in fact, the majority of the guys on my team, especially Tig, he should have been awarded the highest medal you could get as a civilian. He did things that guys have got the Medal of Honor. He did more than that. I mean, all the guys did. DB, Jack, Oz, and for us to still be fighting this and still trying to say that we're telling the truth and people will be calling us liars. Oh, definitely. Definitely we're being.
Well, Kris, look at how long it took, though, to get this workplace violence down in Texas.
Yeah.
And they finally just gave these guys,
Yeah.
So
and as far as relieved, I do know of one lady that quit due to being treated like crap because she sided with us. I do know another gentleman because he told the truth. He was a contractor and he contractor for the agency, and he lost all his contracts. As far as staffers, no. There's been a couple staffers that have quit, and moved over to other locations within the agency, but no longer with GRS. But as far as people that have been relieved, one was actually given retirement. Bob was retired with all his benefits, and he's also now a contract instructor at the farm, which is anywhere from $500 to $600 a day. So he's living the good life. As far as
not bad.
Yeah, he was also given the star, which is the equivalent, which is the CIA's Medal of Honor, and then our TL, our GRS Benghazi TL, he was given the star, and that, you know, I remember them coming in and asking us, hey, how well did the TL do? And I said, you know, he did great. He was fantastic. He stayed out of the way. He didn't do anything. And then to find out that he basically backhanded us after the fact and didn't side with our story, it kind of bothered us, especially. But nobody's been relieved as far as I know. Like officially, you're fired because of what happened there.
Well, Hicks got he got demoted, and then General Ham was kind of asked to.
And that's, I guess I'm talking within the CIA realm, the State Department realm, and the DOD realm. All the people that were involved with that didn't side with Nordstrom or Hicks, all of them should have been fired. Those two guys are telling it like it is. So people need to listen to those guys more.
So the second part of the question was, the Department of State may have failed to provide adequate security for Benghazi consulate, but once the attack started, it was the responsibility of the U.S. military, AFRICOM, and General Ham to see that Americans on the ground were given timely and adequate military support. What are your feelings on that?
What happened there, and this needs to be, this is what I know, and this is not, I'm not speculating, but I don't have documents in front of me, but this is what I've heard from the contacts that I have within the government, that Department of State actually took over the rescue operations from Department of Defense. So Department of Defense, and this is something Panetta needs to answer, and I actually asked Panetta that on Fox and Friends the following morning when he was on O'Reilly the night before. And DOD was actually relieved of command, and Department of State took over the rescue operations, and they're the ones that turned everybody around. Why they did that, why DOD gave up the assets, I don't know. And again, I don't have a piece of paper to show that. I don't have any, but that is what I know. And I also know, you know, the reason that is also believable is because the FES team, the FES, not the FAST team, don't confuse it with the Marines. Now, there was a FAST team in Sigonella that was actually told to stand down. But there's a FES team in D.C. that the State Department has that's used for these sorts of. This is what it's for, and they were never told to gear up and come to Benghazi as well, which that's their job. They should have been. So, you know, what I've been told in the channels that I have, which are some pretty high channels, is that DOD relinquished control and Department of State took over, and they're the ones that turned everybody around. So, you got to ask Hillary and Kennedy again. You got to ask her.
Yeah. And her nickname is Hillary, by the way.
Yeah, I may be doing stuff here. I have to be careful. I may be doing some bigger and better things in the future, so I got to watch out what I say. Yeah.
I fondly call her. I unfondly call her Hillary, I should say.
You can call her all you want. I'll just.
You don't have to reply to that.
We'll acquiesce, Santa.
Somebody asked if you were afraid. Let's see. Are you afraid of any government backlash against you for speaking out?
I'm not afraid of physical backlash. Hey, bring it on. You could bring a lunch if that's what you want. But I worry about the IRS or something? Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't say worried. I live in Nebraska, for God's sake. I drive a truck. I'm not like, I don't. So what? You take all my money, I'll live in a single bedroom apartment. Me and my family will do just fine. Right. Do I think they're gonna come after me financially? Yeah, they will. I think they'll wait until this 5 years from now, but yeah, I'll probably get audited 6 times in a 1 month period. Do I trust? I don't trust them. They will come after me. Yeah, they will.
You think if it's a different, let's just say a different administration and a different atmosphere, you think they still will?
That's a good question. What you're saying is if Republicans win the presidency, do I think that? No, I don't think they will. No, okay. No, and it is. And granted, on our team that night, We have Democrats. We had Republicans.
Right.
The team is both.
You're all Americans that night.
But the Republicans support their troops. Republicans support their warriors overseas. It's the track record.
It's fact. Yeah.
Yep. So you can't argue with that. So no, I don't think if Republicans win the presidency, no. In fact, we may even be actually vindicated in some way.
Right.
Why at this point are they fighting so hard to keep the truth from coming out? I mean, what potentially could be uncovered here? I mean, if you're speculating, if you can speculate.
Well, first of all, it's just them lying for so long, and if gosh, I hate to. For them,
be careful.
For them, they're calling us liars. I guess I can go right back at them. For them, you've gone this far now. You can't stop. They've already passed the point of no return. There's no way to go back and say, oh, you know what, guys? So we're sorry. These guys have been telling the truth the whole time. I think also I think there may be some ulterior motives that have to do with ISIS and have to do with arming Syrian rebels. I don't have anything hard evidence to show you. I don't have pictures of weapons That's a possibility because the facts just lean that direction. But also just sheer incompetence. Just sheer incompetence. Your leadership is incompetent, and it shows from the buildup or the lack of a buildup for security that was been requested over and over. Not listening to your guys on the ground. And it just, I mean, I don't need a leader that doesn't know what they're doing. And then the public that's voted for those people that are in charge right now, it's sometimes you're too proud to say you're wrong, and I think that's where a lot of it is. So it's just a sense of pride and a deadly sin that people aren't recognizing right now, that they need to back up and say, you know what, we might have made a mistake here. And I don't think people really want to. I don't think people really want to admit that. Yeah, they don't want to admit that, that's just how it is.
Yeah, because then they'd have to admit that George Bush was right about something.
Right. You know what, that guy. And I told people this. And I was in Iraq when he was a president. I never got left. And I've been in situations over there too. I never was left behind when he was in president. In fact, we had insurmountable QRF response anytime that somebody got hit in Iraq. Wow. We had the cavalry coming from all directions, so I never had to worry about that.
Well, State Department never got involved in that. DOD never got involved, right? It was the commanders on the ground who called the shots, wasn't it?
Exactly, and it was, and we did have. Now, granted, we did have a lot of commanders on the ground. But we also, and so part of that time I worked for the State Department as a contractor with Blackwater in the beginning, and we responded to everything. It didn't matter if you were DOD, it didn't matter if you're CIA, it didn't matter if you're NSA, and it wasn't like the Department of State is now. I mean, I would equivalent that to being like what we were with the OGA or with the agency now. We had a lot of leeway to do what we needed to do, but the caliber of guys on the State Department at that time too were a lot higher. You had to have special operations background to work for State Department. You don't anymore. It's not a requirement.
Now they're all pencil pushers.
Yeah. I mean, they are, and God bless some of them. They try their best off, but the caliber's not there because a lot of the guys that had that caliber, they're like, I'm not going to work with regular Army guys, or I'm not going to work with somebody that doesn't have the skill set. Well, we'll go work for the NSA or the CIA or do our own thing. It's just the progression. It's just how it was, and that's just and also the other people pay more too, so you're going to go where the higher paying job is and they recognize you because of your skill level. So that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Right. We've got several text questions that we'll get to real quick. There's 8 of them, so we'll just bang them out. And these all came from people who texted. Let's cut that off. The very first one, 6. I just typed it out exactly the way that they put it. 6 Annex operators went or were involved, but only 3 are part of the book. 1 passed away. So what's the position? Yeah, what's the position of the other 2? Their silence.
They were still fully involved with the book. Jack actually, his wife asked him if he could keep his name quiet because of the town. He lives in a real small town, and they really didn't want all the attention in the town. But they were definitely part of the book. In fact, Jack was a pain in the ass during the whole book because he was the meticulous one. I mean, if there was an is instead of an and, he was on it. So he was, and DB was definitely part of the book as well. DB doesn't work for the agency anymore, but he still works as a contractor. So that's why that's why his
disclosure.
Yeah, that's why his name is. He didn't want it out there just for protection purposes of him and his family. But no, they're both part of the book big time. In fact, we still talk. We talked to him. I probably DB's one of my best friends. I started with him in Iraq. We've known each other for 13 years, and we've worked in 4 different countries together. I probably still talk to him once every couple of weeks.
I laughed during the book when you had meant in the book it mentions something about you were wearing cargo shorts that night and had to jump over this big wall, and then DB got over it, and you're like, dude, you didn't come back and freaking unlock the gate. What the hell?
The gate, yeah. He just kept running that ass. I swear that I wanted to, but it was funny because it's typical. When we got there, we were laughing about it, and we still laugh about it. It's because he was fat. He was a fat, and he didn't want to get back there. He's like Tom, you're still in shape. He forgot that I was carrying the machine gun and I was carrying my rifle too.
Right. Well,
nothing for you, right?
I mean, every time I read the book, I felt like we knew you guys, and it felt like we're part of it. And every time I set the book down, I felt like shit. I'm leaving these guys there, and and I could see, and you can kind of identify with different characters. And
well, we all have real different personalities. Yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing about me and DB is he's extremely quiet, and I'm loud and boisterous, and we're like, he's one of my best friends. I mean, whenever we went to a place together, we usually would room together or we'd ride. I would always go in the same vehicles. If we had a small element 2-man team, it was me and him, and also it helped out because we're both dark complected and we both could blend in real well. So it just made for a great team, and actually we just got along. So and he shot out my left ear too that night. Yeah,
that's what we read.
That was nice of him.
What are friends for?
It. At least he can hear. He can still hear out of both ears. Yeah.
All right, second question. This one, and like I said, it'd probably help if I focused in on it. They typed in, "Hey sir, has anything surprised you in a good way or bad way after writing the book? God bless the Benghazi 6.
Surprised me. Well, as I say, surprised me. The good things that happened is the immense support, and then also the possibility of other avenues for future work. I think that's. I guess that has been a surprise. The support more than anything else has been the biggest surprise or asset for myself and the guys.
Amen.
That's a positive. The positive also is looking back and realizing what good things the whole team did that night. That's always a positive you can pull from it, and the leadership from the bottom up leadership that existed. And I think we need to start portraying to people that you can always be a leader, whether you're the lowest man on the totem pole. You don't always, the guys at the top aren't always right. In fact, they can be extremely wrong. And also another thing I learned from that is you got to trust your subordinates, which is what they did not do. They being the State Department, CIA, DOD. Even when you got good subject matter experts on the ground, the disappointing thing is that we're still fighting the government. We're fighting our own government to bring this out. I mean, I have I'm flabbergasted that I'm still dealing with this.
So are we.
Are you kidding me?
Well, it would seem like if there was nothing nefarious going on, there wouldn't be a fight.
And that's exactly all we and that's all we asked for. If somebody would have come in the beginning, I've said this 100 times. Said, you know what, guy? Even behind closed doors, it didn't have to be even out in the open. Said, guys, we're sorry, we screwed up. I'd be still working. I wouldn't even. We would have said, all right, you know what, operators, we understand. You guys, but they just keep. And when they start calling us liars, now we're in it
Now
for
it's
the long
personal, yeah.
Yeah, now exactly.
Well, and claiming that you're doing all this in order to sell a book.
I know.
I know.
You know what? Yeah. In fact, we planned that. We said, Mark, get up on that roof and have your arm blown off, so we can
Yeah.
write a book.
Let me get in the way of those motors. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I please? Can we do that? In fact, let's just spend a whole night, wondering what's going to happen all night, and then Dave, let's make sure your leg is hanging on by a tendon,
Can
so
you walk now?
Dave's rehabilitated. I don't know how well he walks. The guys from the State Department side, they are still under a lock and key. We're friends. I'm friends with Scott Wicklund, but him and I can only talk so often. They're really watching him and Dave, and Alec. Mark, if you see Mark's hand, he doesn't have full function of his hand. No, he never will. It was pretty messed up.
Well, during the book, I mean, it's amazing, and I don't want to give too much away because Brett will read it, right, Brett?
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry I couldn't get to it.
Oz
this was
is
a little last
sitting up
minute for
there,
me.
and after the mortars come on the roof, and his hand is like dangling over here, and he's like throwing his hand up to try to hold the freaking. I mean, the book makes you literally you're there, and you're almost in tears through some of this. I mean, it was just.
That's why I attribute that. We did 3 different revisions on that book. I mean, spending 8 to 12 hours in a room together, going over it with Mitchell, making sure it was how it should be. And that's attribute that to Mitchell. He's a fantastic writer in his own right. He had good books before we even started with this. And people, and also realize everybody out there, Mitchell is a Democrat. Mitchell, if that makes any sense, Mitchell. Did you see how well he wrote the book? And he fully supports us, and I'd take a bullet for that man. Because he is a very good friend.
Well, he's obviously not a leftist.
No, there's a and I'm glad you pointed out. There's a difference. There's a leftist and there's a Democrat. He is a Kennedy Democrat. He is not a. But so because I like to point that out because I want to make sure these people know that they're eating their own right now. The left is eating people that actually supported them throughout the but that being Mitchell is a fantastic writer and he did a great job doing that. I've read all the revisions. I've never read the final because I can't read it.
Right.
But you guys, we've got great many reviews, and I think people have understand that we wanted to put them there in our shoes best we could. So I hope we did that.
In the book, since you can't read it, there's one part that
no. Tell me, what did I do? I don't remember.
I'm telling you, there's one part that it just really sticks with me. Is that at the compound? I believe it's at the compound, and you had mentioned in the book that what really caught your eye was walking around with a rifle was about a 60-year-old Bob Newhart looking businessman. And at one point, we've got the team leader and we've got all the lead guys hiding, locked up in a building, and this guy's on his knee next to you, firing away.
Yeah, that was cool. That reminded me of some of the old guys in Afghanistan that used to fight with us, and he was cool. He looked like he just came back from his office job. It's like, hey, I'm gonna come get in a fight.
Too.
He was awesome. Yeah. He was the first guy that started firing with me when we got counterattacked at the consulate. And it was, I mean, yeah, it's so, I have to say, it's still the neatest thing when there's rounds snapping right by you. It's still the coolest. I don't care. People, I thought it was the coolest thing. And just seeing him there, because he blew out my right eardrum, just not as bad as DB. Because I started.
That guy says the same thing.
Yeah, but he was cool. And we had all those 17 Feb guys in their uniforms running around with their chickens with their head cut off. One guy had got his hand blown off. And this is the only guy that's shooting with me, and then DB gets in, and then Tig gets in, and then we fight him off. But it was cool. No, he was awesome. Yeah, I still picture it myself. I can still see him plain as day. It's really neat.
It was great. Well, here's another question from the same person, and I think you've already answered this, but I'm going to read it just out of respect to these people. Jack Silva and DB are sometimes unmentioned in interviews, although never forgotten. So with respect to their privacy, can you let them know we support and pray for them too, please? High fives and God bless. So I guess No, that is worth reading because they just want you to pass on or for
Yeah.
them to know that people
Yeah.
feel as passionately thankful to them as we do the people whose faces we see.
And
Yeah.
I need to. I will. Jack knows DB is more pessimistic as this whole thing goes. But I try to tell him what's going on, and I think he's coming to realize that there's a lot of support out there for us.
Oh yeah, big time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I will tell whoever that is. Say
Yeah.
Roger that Tonto's on it or something like that.
I will.
I think they
Next
might have just
question.
heard you there.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're watching. There's actually about 8 different places where people can watch. So I've got some people here and some people there. We're live streaming right now on Facebook. Anywhere from your page right now, if anybody is friends with you and saw that, they can actually click on your Facebook page and it'll be live streaming on there. It's about 40 seconds late or delayed on these. If they click on the Blast one or mine, if they click on the link to Facebook, to my Facebook page, a lot of people are subscribers there. It goes live streaming and on Google Hangouts. So we've got a whole bunch of different places it's live streaming right now.
Hey, as we like to say, we have tens and tens of fans, so you're really reaching a wide audience here. So,
All right.
your books.
I think we'll have more than tens. I think we'll have more than tens and tens tonight, especially with my network watching.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Well, good. At least we got 30 viewers. Hey,
Yeah.
that's 30 more than I didn't have, so that's good.
There you go.
Well, you know what though, it gets back to that. Those 30 talk about it to 30 of their friends and so on, and that old cliche. They tell their friends, they tell their friends,
Yeah.
and that's how this works.
Yeah.
That's how this works.
Grassroots.
Go ahead,
So
Gina.
the next one up there was, what's the question you most get tired of answering?
That question.
What's the question I get? Yeah, no, that's funny. I wish I see you ruined it, Brett. I can't answer that now. It's all true.
Or do
I
you
think-
have one?
I don't really have a question I get. I don't have a question I get tired of answering. There's questions that is it Hillary's fault? I don't get tired of answering that. I just can't answer it because I don't know.
Right.
Do I know that nothing was done by her, or do I know that the commander-in-chief did nothing? Yeah, I know they didn't because nobody ever came to help us. That's just
Right.
fact.
Right.
And they had a drone within 45 minutes. Probably there was a drone, wasn't there?
There was actually a drone. It was doing another mission. It was actually looking for people in Durban, and it was moved to us. But there were plenty of assets in place that could have helped. But I think it's like who did Hillary issue the stand down, or did Obama issue the stand down?
Yeah, you do.
I don't know.
We'll never know. We'll never know.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, why do you guess that extra security? Because if I remember the story correctly, that the request for kind of an upgrade in security was made, and it was denied. And what would be the motivation for that? Weren't there some warnings that something like this was coming?
Yeah. There was an attack on the British ambassador, which the news doesn't realize. GRS responded to that one too.
Mm-hmm.
There was two IEDs on the outer compound wall. There was reconnaissance done on the outside. There was a bad guy house, and we still don't know if it was an Al Qaeda or an Ansar al-Sharia house that was 200 meters away from the consulate where they lived. I mean, it was right next door.
You guys kind of lit that place up and chose not to because of the chance that those kids and women were in there.
That was a different house. That was the one that was by our annex, and we knew there was kids in there because they would pester us all night. There were kids. Yeah, I wanted to. I had a machine gun on it, I didn't because we knew there was kids in there, and we had some small kids too, 4 or 5 year olds. The warning says why they wouldn't. I don't. Department of State's incompetent, and that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario again is they wanted the attack to happen.
That's
right.
And neither one is good.
That's where I'm coming from. The evidence for me leads towards they wanted this to happen, and I couldn't say why, But
Well,
I mean,
okay, so
that's the ultimate question here.
But here's another question that drives right into this one. Okay, let's forget the incompetence. Let's forget that they were, or just put aside for a minute that they were denying extra help, all that stuff. We know that on 9/11, this is a question that it came in, and just hours before the attack, the book says that the British security team dropped off vehicles at the compound. So the question really is, how many British were around that could have helped? Do you know if they were called or tried to help and relying on 17 Feb instead of the British?
We didn't even know that. We had no idea the Brits were even available, or we would have called them. We didn't know Gardaworld. Gardaworld had a team out there protecting a pipeline. Garda's a big security company out of Canada, but they have an office in the U.S. If we would have known they were there, I mean, that's right there. That's an intelligence failure, not letting your security guys know that there are other assets involved. There's an intel failure. So when that HPSI report comes out and says there were no intel failures, there's two right off the bat.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
pretty big ones too.
Yeah.
But Bob and team leader both had to know that.
We would have hoped so. I would have. Yes. As a technical capability, yes, they should have known that, and that we should have had that on our board. We should. Most places we have them typed in, or if any asset that we could have available to us is in our little burn phones, our drop phones.
Yeah.
Right.
And we had no idea. We had no idea, and that's shame on us. Maybe shame on us for not asking more questions. But the Garda, I had no idea we had Garda there until I got to Yemen, and one of my best friends, the vice president of Garda World. In fact, I put him through training when he was coming through GRS. Now he's a multi-gazillionaire. Good friend to have. And and he said, Kris, why didn't you guys call us? I said, brother, I didn't even know you guys were in country. We're talking in a hotel in Yemen. We're having coffee, and I said, Brian, I didn't even know you guys were there. So intel failure. Another one.
It's unforgivable. It really is.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah. That too.
You're right. Yep.
Well, it's like you said. The leadership. They have to lead by example, and all of these rear echelon, pencil pushers who are in charge now over the course of the last 6 years. Pentagon has completely changed. In my opinion, Pentagon has completely changed. The State Department completely changed. Everyone was like, it's all political, and you guys are left high and dry, and that's, like you said, it's just unforgivable. It really is.
And then you guys could be persecuted if you shoot at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to get clearance to shoot when the guys were starting to roll up on us, because we didn't know if they were friend or foe, and we're trying to figure out, hey, who's but that's that's in every country, every military country. All the guys that have been in a firefight, unless they're doing a direct action and they're going to take over an entire compound, doesn't matter if there's good or bad there, they run into that dilemma, because they just, people blend in, and but they know that the locals are not dumb. They're street smart. We may have smart kids from Yale. They have street smart people, and they win because street smart does outweigh book smart over in those countries. We haven't figured that one out for some reason.
Yeah. And they know that the American soldiers. Well, they know the American soldiers' hands are tied because of the political things.
Yeah. If you had seen some of those children with grenades or something or weapons, and you had lit up that house, you'd be in jail today.
Well, you know what? If we saw them with weapons, though, they're going to get lit up. And then we'll deal.
Well, I know. I'm just saying, but on the State Department side, you guys would have been fried.
Unless we would have jumped over there and grabbed all the grenades and stuff and said, or took pictures of it, which is
not happening at that point.
No, just like and it goes back to what happened to my buddy Ray over there in Pakistan. He did what he did to do. He stayed and took pictures, and they wrapped him up. Granted, I wouldn't have stayed and took him pictures, but that's what he did, and he wrapped him up, and he was in a Pakistani jail for 90 days. He was that's another GRS guy. So we're just caught in a bad situation. We just deal with it, and if you live through it, then we can talk about it. If we don't, well, then somebody else will.
All right, couple last questions here. the book made it sound like at the Annex, when you guys were over at the compound, at the Annex the night of 9/11, that Oz was essentially running the show when you guys were at the compound, was acting in the role of team leader that night. Is that kind of correct? Or?
That was what he was doing. Is when we went over, Oz did not go to.
He was coming right. He was coming back still from dinner, so he wasn't in the cars with you guys.
No, he did not go over the consulate with us. He was not part of the firefight. So when he got back to the Annex, he just had to get the base defense shored up. And being the highest security guy over there, granted, there were two basic. TL? The TL was with us. The TL went over. Okay. The TL went over with us, but he didn't go on foot with us to the compound. He waited till we cleared it. Then he drove a vehicle up. Gotcha. And then basically he, I don't know what he did. He was hiding behind the villa the whole night. At the consulate. He did absolutely nothing. No, Oz tried to get the base defense shored up, and at the Annex while we were out. So I wouldn't call him the team leader, but he was, he knew what to do as far as security went, because he was the only one there that had been part of the base security. That's to put that in a bad example. We had two base security guys there, staffers that ran the cameras, but also they were SPOs, what we call the police officers that run base security at Langley. We had two guys there as well, and here's my little girl. And then we also had three good shooters there as well that could shoot. So Oz was getting them put where they needed to be, because Oz knew the compound the best. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
To get some fun up. So
because in the book, he seemed like he really took control when you guys were there. He set things up so when you guys came back, everybody was ready to roll.
Yeah, he did do that. Yeah, I would say so, because when we did get back, we all went to our spots and we're ready. We were ready for whatever. We knew we were going to get attacked, so just got ready to go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Last, you got another couple minutes in you?
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So a couple here. This is someone's observation, not really a question they typed in. The thing that blows my mind is leaving the responsibility of the main gates entrance to Libyans, and unarmed ones at that. Also, that there was no movement-triggered video surveillance on that gate, and no heavy machine. This is kind of a question. No heavy machine gun mounted on the roof.
Okay, and I can answer all that. That's easy. The State Department did request heavy machine guns. This is after we asked them if they had machine guns, and they told us no. And I said they were going to die if they got attacked, which probably wasn't the right thing to say, but I said it anyway. They did ask for machine guns. They were denied the machine gun request from Patrick Kennedy, and which is and they were denied requests from the State Department. Let's put it. I don't want to point at him. I didn't see the paper.
Yeah.
All right. They outsourcing of security to 17 February, which did have Al-Qaeda or did have terroristic ties. Worst outsourcing of security ever in the history of the State Department.
Yeah,
why they did that? Yeah, I don't know why they did that.
I mean, they had Libyans at the front gate deciding if their cousins could come in or not.
Yeah, that was another determination by the State Department. Now, Blue Mountain Group was a UK company, but they were subcontracted with, and please just bear with me. Oh my gosh, Libya Eclipse. Okay, Libya Eclipse. Now, Libya Eclipse, if you check that out, Libya Eclipse is a partial owner, is the old CIA guy. He owns Libya Eclipse. So you're starting to see the pattern. And then there's been words that Blue Mountain Group was also part of Aegis, which Mike Rogers' wife owns. Are you seeing what I'm saying? There's just so much money and ties, and it just keeps steeping. So when you ask why do they keep, and this goes back to another question, why do they keep trying to say that we're lying and this is not the truth? Well, there's so many crooked hands and money going places, and Americans making a lot of money, and the wrong choices being made due to what I think is money, or possibly weapons being moved. I don't know. I can't say yes or no. But you'd have to, again, you got to get into the State Department and say, why did you do this? And if you see the testimony that the last hearing that Gowdy did, Kennedy would not answer those questions when it was asked. If you go back and he skirted around him again. I think it was a representative from Ohio that was asking him the hard questions, and the guy would not answer.
Pretty tough, isn't he?
Yeah, but again, you go through. They let him off the hook. He never answered the questions.
Yeah.
He never. And you're not going to get to the bottom of these if you keep allowing these guys to do the lowest learner and plead the fifth.
Yeah, right.
So
I have a quick on that whole a little offshoot on that. In one of your interviews, you had said that when you were at the compound or at the consulate, you would they said open the gate. You open the gate and let them in, and then you said to the commander, make sure you shut that gate behind you. And he didn't.
He didn't.
Do you? In hindsight, 2020, I know, but is that something that you regret not making sure that he did it, or is that just? I mean. It almost sounds like he was in on it, like he didn't do it on purpose.
Tactically, he was in on it. I know he didn't shut it off. He didn't shut it because he wanted it open. Tactically, that was a mistake on my end. Anytime you go through a room, anytime you go through any opening, and any operator will tell you this, you close the door behind you. And that was my fault. I trusted him not to. I mean, I trusted him to. But in hindsight, again, then I wouldn't have got shot at either. So I wouldn't have been having a bunch of fun.
Some fun.
Exactly.
You're such a ranger.
I wouldn't have got to see a 17 Feb guy's hand get blown off on RPG. You wouldn't got to see I wouldn't be able to talk about it.
I know.
But tactically.
In all seriousness, I mean, 2020. I know it's hindsight's 2020, but
my mistake.
I was just wondering if you think about that.
Yeah, I would have had to do push-ups after the AAR if I was a battalion. They said, "Hey, Sergeant Paranto, why didn't you close that gate?" And I would have had to elevate and do push-ups for the captain. Yeah, it was. I had a couple questions for you. Sean Smith's mother. In one of the interviews, you guys, all three of you, John, Mark, and yourself, had talked to her. She didn't know anything about the whole story. And she had talked to you guys, and you guys had made the promise that you'd all get together. Have you been able to get together with her? Yeah, we got together in Dallas, awesome. and she did. We talked to her more. I talked to her about once every couple weeks.
Awesome.
I call her still. We also talked to Ty's mom a few weeks ago, and she also has been told several lies as well from the agency itself. So she was very thankful to talk to us as well. Specifically that Ty's body was handled with care, which throughout the night, which those who have read the book know that it wasn't.
Yeah.
Who the hell are the DD boys, the DD guys that remind me of WW? They remind me of the book of a WWE wrestler.
It's Delta Force. We call them D boys. That's just our name. Delta. That's Delta Force. Were
they a-holes there or what?
I don't know. I mean,
I suppose on some level, all Delta you have to be an a-hole to get to the Delta level.
Yeah.
Well, the way the book was, they acted like they took over when they got there, and then
I don't know if they took over inside. I mean, they obviously didn't come up to the roost and help us.
Right.
It goes back to they were young. They're young guys. Delta being. Now, Delta usually gets senior guys in the military, but they were probably in their 30s. All of us there are in our 40s.
Well, I don't mean that they took over during the fight. No, they were hiding inside during the mortar go-rounds. But, I mean, it made it sound like they tried to take over, tell you guys what to do, and then when it was time for evacuation, and then what they did to the bodies to bring them down.
Yeah, I was
reading the book upset me.
Let's put it this way: I was not impressed with them. Granted, Delta guys do their thing; they do what they need to do, but what they do is completely different from what GRS does. They are on the aggressive. They have all the assets they need. They have all the backup. They have they have a Ranger company back to come get them if something happens. I mean, shit. Excuse my language. GRS, we don't. We, in fact, as you saw, we have very limited resources, which is wrong. But we also know that that's why, and also, by the time they got there, we had already been, this can't get any worse than this. So we were already used to it. And they're coming in going, oh my gosh, we have no gunships, we have nothing. We're actually going to have to fight these guys. And again, I don't want to speak, because Delta does do their thing, and they are very good at what they do. But that night, it did not impress me that night. They did some things that really pissed me off.
Yeah.
But
well, from
again,
what I was upset as a reader reading the book, because here I am reading the book, and this guy is such a good writer.
He is a very good writer.
Really feel like they're your brothers. You guys are our brothers, and we identified with you guys. And I mean, personally, I don't mean to. Not trying to have like a man crush on you, although I'm not opposed to having a man crush. I did on Brett Favre.
You might take my shirt off in the interview.
I had a man crush on Brett Favre for a long time.
Oh, that's gross, dude. He's fat.
Well, until he started showing his schlong to that whatever.
Oh yeah, I remember
that cheerleader.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I'm like, God, I'm reading this. I'm like, God, tattoos. They got tattoos. Oh, he stops in front of a camera and dances. I'd do that.
Yeah,
shit,
that was fun. That was some
Whatever.
funny dances. Those were some fun dances.
Yeah.
You know, the thing with the D-boys too, people need to remember that, especially those. And I'm kind of ruining it for you. You may want to close your ears there or cover your ears. But when they did that we had been attacked. We weren't going to be attacked. The attacks had stopped. It wasn't like we were still getting mortared and shot at. And they just dropped their bodies. I was like,
yeah, they didn't.
Really? Are you that scared that you gotta? We're fine. I mean, I've been up on this roof since 12 o'clock. If you get hit, guess what? If it's your time with the mortar, it's your time. You're sorry. It's just your time.
Yeah.
That's just gonna happen. But I think it comes down to age. I don't think it comes down to training, or it just comes down to. I do. I think it comes, and the guys I was with, like so, me and DB had been doing it for 10 years. You know, Jack had been doing it, and Jack was older. He was in his 40s. You know, Ty was in his upper 40s. Mark's in his 60s. I think Mark's like 68 years old, something like that.
Mark, guys.
Mark's like, if he's watching, I give him crap all the time because he's old. No, maybe Mark's in his upper 40s. It's just, you know, Tig is the youngest.
Wait a minute. That's an old man? Jeez.
He's in his 60s. 60's old. 60.
I thought you said 49.
Oh, I mean 49. 60.
It's all relative, you know.
Exactly.
Hey, we just had a quick question come in that I can answer myself. It says, what do you think needs to be done to prevent another thing like Benghazi happening again? Get Obama out.
Well, you got
go with that.
You got to put guys that know what they're doing in charge. You can't just put stuff on paper. They wrote that report up. What was it? 25 points to.
Yeah.
It was written up. Has it been implemented? Probably not. Have they used Scott and Dave and Alec to implement those changes? No. Is it a probably good idea to use the guys that were on the ground that were actually attacked? Even though they made mistakes, they know the best how to fix them. Did they call us in to start training their guys to how to respond to attacks? No. So no, you stop with your pride, you big pencil pushers, and get your operators back in charge and start running security. So you got to start. You hate them, I know you do, but they've never lost anybody. You start utilizing your black waters and your triple canopies again. You know, you got to. You got to quit saying, well, we don't have enough Marines. Well, guess what? You have Aegis on a compound in Kabul, which, granted, that contract was got from Mike Rogers' wife, of course. But you start utilizing these contracting companies again as far as base security. And again, you put people that aren't sitting behind a desk that actually have experience in the field, and you get them back out there to start implementing these changes. Maybe they are. I don't think they are, but
yeah,
maybe
they're
they
probably not. Just knowing from experience, like some of the guys over there on some of the bases, contractors can't carry a weapon.
Exactly.
So they have to have two guardian angels with them, and it's like they're former Rangers, they're special forces. I mean, come on.
You can't carry a weapon here in the United States on base, right?
No. Yeah, but they're in a war zone. They're in country in a war zone, and they cannot.
And that was another thing is you got to start loosening up and trusting your guys as far as where to keep their weapons. You can't put, and that was one thing with the weapons that night, was they had them all locked up in their arms room.
Wow.
Well, you don't, and that's they did what they were told. Granted, you get guys like us, you're kissing my butt. It's right by my bed. I'm not putting
Exactly.
fire me if you want.
Exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, you've got to be realistic overseas. You can't have guys making rules 1,000 miles away that have never served and never been in any sort of situation like that.
Last two quick questions. Do you know last question here that came through?
I like this question.
Oh, great. That's right.
There you go.
There's going to be one for anybody that hasn't read the book. Read the freaking book, and if you've read the book, you know there's going to be one.
What's that? I haven't got the question yet. What's the question?
The question is,
see the
who would
question?
play you in the movie?
Oh, I can do that?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Oh, there it
Can you
is.
see it on the screen?
Oh, who plays you in the movie?
Wait, you haven't seen any of the questions come up?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You have not.
I guess they didn't know to click on your second page there, James.
Hey, I'm a good listener. Shut your mouth.
There you
I'm a good listener. We do not. Ooh, I don't want my ugly face in there. Yeah. Oh, let me go real quick. I don't know yet. No, we haven't been told who's going to play who yet. We won't know for a while. I don't know. No.
Who would you want to play you?
Exactly. Well, that's a fair question. Who would you want to play you?
Okay. That was my question.
What badass?
That was my
do
question.
you want?
I made that question up. Because I already know.
I would say. I think. Anna and I have had this discussion before. I think I told her Fez from the 70s. What's his name? Wilmer Valderrama or something like that.
There you go.
Actually,
No. Yeah. Don't even. Are you agreeing with that? Stop
No.
it. That was a joke. That better not. You know what? I don't know.
I've got the picture already. You want me to just tell you?
Oh, here we go. Here's who's playing you.
Tell me.
The casting's done.
Oh, Lou Diamond.
What?
Lou Diamond Phillips?
Chavez. That's actually pretty good.
Right?
I don't know about that.
That could work. I mean, he's got more of a round face. I got more of the jaw going.
Well, it doesn't have to be perfect.
No, that would work. You
think?
You better be getting ready to go then. You better get that workout going. Actually,
I don't know about that.
what did he do? He did
I mean,
a
I
good
don't know if he
job.
could play you.
I think that's a pretty good pick. He's
See?
not as good. He's not as good looking.
No, definitely
Not
not.
at all.
Oh, thank you.
Well, actually, no,
thanks, Brett.
he's so unattractive that he turned his.
You just don't. You don't want
He
him
turned his
pulling away
wife.
your.
No, he
He's
turned
what?
his wife into a lesbian.
What?
Oh dear.
Yeah, you didn't
Even
know that?
more reason to stay away.
He,
This is
There
good.
was-
he lost his first wife because she divulged that she's a lesbian. You guys didn't know that.
Hey, Jim,
I
there was talk about a guy on the Game of Thrones that was going to play me, but I don't know which. Did you ever watch Game of Thrones on HBO?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know which one that would be. I think it was Jon Snow. Who's Jon Snow? Who's the character Jon Snow? Can you Google that?
Wow.
Let's
John.
see. I'll get his picture up.
I think he has long hair.
While we're looking that up, I have one quick question for you. Have you actually seen this stupid, god-awful video movie that they...
No.
You haven't seen it?
No.
It's the most ridiculous thing, and for them to even still to this day say that caused anything is the most...
Didn't they arrest that guy?
He's still in jail. He's still in jail.
Yeah.
He's still in jail for that.
For what? For the video? Are you
Right.
For the video, for the creating the atmosphere for the attack.
Wow.
He's still in jail.
Which is pretty bizarre, being that's not why it happened.
Gee, that's ridiculous. Yeah.
But again, like Kris said, they're not going to come out and admit it because they're just not going to admit it.
I've always said them jumping to that video just shows you how stupid this administration thinks the American people are.
Yeah.
It's a blatant slap, and it's like, you're going to try and pull this on us, really?
I know.
Who's buying this? And I would hope that there were very few people that did. That just went, well, if he said it, it must be true.
35% of the population bought it, didn't they?
I think they did. No, you're right,
Yeah.
which is disturbing in so many ways.
Jon Snow could do you with well, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase
Snow.
that.
Hey, I know, Amy. I know you're with the Ranger and all, but that's right. That's behind closed door Ranger talk. That's not,
There you go.
We'll take that offline. Jon Snow.
Not bad.
All right. Let's show a better Jon Snow than that.
No, that's not. Yeah, better Jon Snow than that.
I see where we're going here, though.
I can do the part. Isn't that like the what's his name? The
Simon Cowell part.
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
that was they were saying that guy, but he's a little bit younger.
Yeah.
There he is.
I don't know. I'm still okay. I use olive oil.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't. Well, yeah, you still look young, so.
Yeah, I still like my pick. Oh, could we before we scoot out? It's important to me that we do this real quick. I'm just going to throw up some pictures, and I want you to just briefly say the first thing that comes to you, or
okay.
I thought it was cool when I saw these.
All right. So we're doing the Rorschach test. What was it?
Yeah.
All right.
The Wonderlick test.
The Wonderlick. I failed that so many times.
Careful. Amy's about to go.
There we go.
Oh wait. That means I got to go to the pictures.
Yeah, you got to go to pictures.
There you go. You got to pictures.
Oh, what do you want me to say? That's our bracelet that I wear. It's right here.
A lot of people don't know that though.
Oh.
Yeah, let me hold on. Let me pull it. There you go.
That's it right there.
A lot of people do not know that you guys wear that bracelet, and it's got both of the guys on there, right?
Yep. If you ever see guys wearing those, that's what his memorial bracelets said. Normally it's a guy that you've served with and died. Sometimes they're given as honorariums to people to wear. But have respect. If you ever see a guy walk around in a bracelet that's black and has names on it, that's generally what it's for. It's a memorial for somebody that's died in their company, platoon, or squad, or on their team.
Okay.
My guy wears one too.
Next picture. I thought this was very cool. Tell us when this came about. Who built it?
That was actually it's near Kalispell, Montana. Up I forget the lake that's up there. We're up there doing a book signing with Nemo Arms, which are great people. Nemo does, and they do great weapons. I mean, they're top notch. Well, one of the people that owns a little dude ranch up there, and it had built it because Ty's father lived up there for a short amount. Ty's father lived there for a short amount of time, and they just figured that it'd be something to honor him and to do. And it was out in the middle of nowhere. You wouldn't think it'd be up there because none of Ty's family lives out there anymore. But
that's
cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
So, did you? Who built that?
It was just a local guy there that obviously has a lot of money. He does do veterans things once a year, supporting veterans. And Ty's father lived in the area at that time, and it was right around the time that Ty had passed. So they got together and figured it'd be an honored thing to do, is build that for the guys that passed away. And the gentleman's name, I don't remember his name. I have a picture of him somewhere. I could post that on my Facebook. And but it was more for veterans themselves, but also because of the relationship that he had with Ty's father.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I saw that come across your page. Somebody just posted. We still have people posting and questions and things. And somebody just posted who should play you in the movie.
Oh no!
You'll like this.
Who's that guy?
Clint Eastwood's son.
Oh,
there you go.
All right, then.
Do that. I don't know.
He's got the jaw.
He's kind of pretty.
He is a little too pretty, right?
No, he can rough him up. We can rough him up.
There you go.
Yeah.
All we gotta do is just give him Copenhagen and have him start dipping Copenhagen right now.
There you go.
Right
get some snuff going on there.
Actually, and he's got the name too. I didn't know that was his son.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, I can go with that. I could.
Not a terrible choice.
Wouldn't be worse. Yeah. Okay, good deal. I like it. Whoever put that up there, if it was Who put it up? Well, never.
A man or a woman?
Exactly.
These guys are gonna laugh. These guys are gonna laugh. It's our technical advisor who's behind the scenes helping me right now. Andrew. He's our Canadian.
That's a guy.
Andrew is a guy. Thank you, Amy. I appreciate you pointing that out. Andrew.
I'm going to invite him on real quick before we go, just so you can say hi to him.
Hi, Andrew.
Andrew, come on the show. Here he is.
Andrew, come on the show.
Come on.
Andrew, come on the show.
You won't see that for 40 seconds. We can do other things.
Yeah,
Chris,
just
I'm gonna
real quick.
inbox you a poem that someone wrote about that whole experience.
Okay.
And I put a picture to it.
How do I?
So I'm gonna inbox.
I'll
inbox you on Facebook. We're not friends yet,
okay.
but
we're not friends yet. Have we become?
No.
Well,
What's up with that? I'll friend you.
Okay, friend me.
She gets creepy though. Careful.
I'm creepy. No, I'm just very vocal. I have a large network.
It's awful creepy. Andrew, hey. There we go. 40 seconds later.
Andrew lives in Toronto, Canada.
Hi, Andrew.
He's an atheist who is jealous of America. He's a stalker of mine, and he's a gamer, much like was it Sean Smith?
Sean Smith, yeah, who did I can't remember the game. Gosh, yeah. Eve. That's right, Eve.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else you want to know? Just
kidding.
Wait a minute, who's stalker?
Who's stalking who?
Andrew was stalking me.
I'm just looking for that picture, Chris.
Here's Andrew. Andrew, say hi to Chris.
Hi.
We got a blank screen there. Yeah, just.
He's a little shy guy.
It's okay. I like the picture. I think that's a good picture. Put that out to. I think Michael Bay is signed on finally. I won't know. So push it out to Michael Bay.
Very cool. Very cool.
There's Matt Boomer from White Collar.
Oh, wait a minute! I said that was you said that was Eastwood. Who is that?
No, I said that's who he should get to play. I'm Clint Eastwood.
Oh, nice.
You don't pay attention.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, nice job. Way to go.
Well, who the hell was that you posted?
He said Matt Boomer.
Oh, that's Matt Boomer?
Yeah.
Oh, see,
Either way, he needs Copenhagen. Give him some Copenhagen.
Exactly. He needs to get roughed up a little bit.
Anyways, we'll call it a show, and
I want to say something.
Oh my gosh!
Finally, speak.
The only time Anna will ever speak, is when I want to move on to another something. I'm like, okay, guys, wait, I'm ready.
That's because she wants the last word.
No, it's because I'm a shy girl. Okay.
Yeah. Whatever.
So one of those who had texted in a question said, "How do we prevent this from happening again?" And I think that what Chris and his pals did is something that's huge. Is that they have come out and they've let the government know they can't just do what they want when they want, and they're never going to have any pushback. And I think that's what's really connected with the American people, with their message. And I have seen and spoke with some of these veterans when he was here in Utah that were just in tears over just how proud they were of these men for what they were doing. And so what he's doing right now, going around the country, is just an extension of what had happened while he was there in Benghazi. And Chris, I just want to ask you a little bit, what was it that helped to make that decision to not obey orders anymore and go in and do the right thing? There's something very deep and emotional that I've heard you speak about with your love for America and doing the right thing, and I would just like to hear your thoughts on that.
you never leave a fallen comrade. That's one of the Ranger Creeds. But when whether friends or Americans or anybody is dying, and they're saying they're going to die, and we've already given our word, and I gave them my word that if they ever needed us, that we'd come help them. You honor that. You honor that word, but you also honor that you're there to protect U.S. soil, which is the consulate, which is the annex, and you don't let foreign invaders take over that soil and then just nonchalantly go in there and kill everybody on it, especially when you have the means to at least put up a fight. People ask, did you guys think you were going to die that night? I don't. It crossed my mind. But it's not something I was going to dwell on. You always going to. You guys, yeah, probably, maybe. I don't know. I'm not going to let it happen, but it might happen if it's my time. But it was basically you go and you respond to your brothers that need help, and especially when you give them your word, and especially if you've been in the service or in the being in the SOCOM arena. You don't just let your friends sit there and die, or try to figure out, well, what's the best way we can save them for 30 minutes, and then, oh crap, they're dead. Can't do anything about it now. You're not a coward, and that's where our leadership came in, and it was cowardly. And they may not think it is. They may try to say, no, we're trying to get support. We're trying to drum up people to help. No, you're being a coward. Bottom line.
Excuses.
Do you think? Okay, this brings up. I don't even know why in the hell I'm thinking about this now, but do you think that then what happened to you guys, what you just said a couple of times now, just now and tonight, you don't leave a soldier behind, you don't leave an American behind, you don't leave our guys behind. God, I even choke on saying this because it makes me throw up, but Obama used those same words about Bergdahl.
No, but watch his words.
But do you think that he did it because, or used your words now?
If you watch his words, he says we do not leave soldiers behind, and I picked that word out as being a soldier. We're not considered soldiers. We are contractors. We are civilians, and I know that there's somebody that wrote that for him that says, well, if this is what I would do if I was writing for him, I'd be like, whoa, wait a second. I can't say we don't leave anybody behind because we did. Right. Let me write this different. And when I heard him say that, I wrote. Actually, I put a blast out to my guy. I said, "Did you just see what happened?" I mean, the minute I saw it, I was like, "Did you just see what he said?" Yeah. He said soldiers. That was a hit on, and I took that personal. I said, "That's a hit on us."
Absolutely. And it's crap. That's politicking crap.
And nobody. Why am I? I'm a dumb idiot. Why am I the only one that picked up on that? I guess
you're not alone, my friend, at all.
No. But
you're not a dumb idiot either. So.
Well, he used those words, but if you watch it again, watch and run it on your show and show it.
I remember now because I remember thinking about the same thing. I just didn't dawn on me till you re-mentioned that. But I was thinking to myself, yeah.
He's got a writer in there and that's actually in the Army that's actually in the Army values now. I mean it used to be a Ranger Creed thing. It still is, but the Army adopted when they adopted our Black Beret. When I was in, we were Black Berets 9 or 10. They adopted a lot of stuff from GER. They adopted a lot of stuff from Battalion because Battalion has that esprit de corps. And but yeah, if watch it, he said it that way, and that.
No, you're right. I remember that.
That slighted. That was a slight. I thought it was anyway.
At you guys, and you took that personally right away.
Yep. Right when I said it, I was like, oh, right. The minute he said it.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to make sure I wanted to make sure I got this in as we were wrapping up here, but I just want to thank you for your service.
Thanks.
And I really appreciate your time. Thank you for that tonight. And almost more importantly, thank you for standing up and being the voice that a lot of us aren't. We can't yell loud enough. Sometimes from where we sit, and we need to run on the coattails of somebody like you. And trust me, we'll all be following you and following this story as we move forward.
Thanks,
and we're going to be right behind you, making sure that our small part, whatever that is, we're going to be out there behind you.
Yep, we do appreciate you.
Thanks.
Absolutely,
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for volunteering for service to our country before and after.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll keep doing what I can. And Andrew, thanks for that guide too. He's a lot better looking than me.
I thought you'd like that.
Yeah,
Andrew keeps that picture in his wallet, so it was easy.
Oh my gosh, I know.
No, Andrew's married. Brandy is very much a female.
Well, if he's married, then why did he have that? Why was he stalking me?
The same reason that you got 87% female in your quiz.
Yeah,
88%.
That is true. That is true.
The honest to God's truth. The Facebook had a quiz. How does your brain think or react, male or woman? And I answered honestly, like a dude. And
No,
I got
no,
eight,
no.
I think
Obviously
88%
not like
women.
a dude.
I don't even want to know.
Obviously, it's what you think a dude is like. Jim, we'll talk after the show, buddy.
Oh,
I don't even want to know.
Have a little chat.
Yeah.
That's gross. You're gross. I threw up a little bit in my mouth. A little bit.
I gotta be
All right.
honest,
I know,
we
right?
teased him.
This is how we end the show right here.
Puppies,
You don't have
baby,
to sing,
puppies.
we won't sing, but we all sing.
I don't know the
Everybody
song,
else-
so I don't
Turn
sing.
out the
She
lights.
doesn't know that. I knew this back from Don Meredith days when they were doing Monday Night Football.
That's right.
All right, well, you guys all hang in for 1 second. Everybody out there, thank you. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
And